What's up, my friend? How are you doing? You see, there's lots of things that happen at night. Sometimes, when we fall asleep, it is normal for us to have dreams. But some of the dreams that we have turn out to be nightmares, scary, and some you can't even understand what they say. But my friend, there is something that the Book of Wisdom says about such type of dreams, among other things that happen at night. Let's hear it together before we start today's show about what this book here tells us on dreams. And it says here from Job 33:14 going down. For God does speak, now one way, now another, though man may not perceive it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on men, as they slumber in their beds, he may speak in their ears and terrify them with warnings, to turn man from wrongdoing and keep him from pride, to preserve his soul from the pit, his life from perishing by the sword. Or a man may be chastened on a bed of pain with constant distress in his bones. My friends, it's like the book of wisdom encourages us to wake up and pray, speak to our Creator when we have such type of dreams or nightmares, because they may be a sign or a warning of something that might happen. Now, interesting soul, the reason as to why we have read from this book of wisdom, and I'm speaking about talking to the Creator when you have weird dreams, is because here we believe in the most supreme being, Almighty Creator, as our driver, as our director in everything we do. And we always start by acknowledging them with a word of thanks, my friend, which we shall be doing after I tell you what it is we do here. My friend, here we react to videos, different types of videos. Some other videos which you might find mind-blowing, you've never seen somewhere else, or others just good vibes videos. All this we do to spread love to the whole world, peace, honesty, and forgiveness. Now, if you have understood, my friend, let's talk to our Creator before we dive in. Thank you, Father, for this wonderful day. Thank you, dear Lord, for your word through the books of wisdom. Thank you for your child here, today's viewer. Thank you for their lives, Father. Thank you, dear Lord, for forgiving us our sins through your Son, Jesus Christ. All glory and honor, Father, belong unto you. Thank you for the videos that we have today. As we react to them with your child, Father, may you guide us and help us to spread love to the whole world. In your mighty name, Jesus, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Interesting source. Let's dive in. Good vibes all the way.
Okay, things are starting to look real creepy in Florida. We're seeing eerie videos of black SUVs driving around neighborhoods with megaphones urging people to leave immediately. We're seeing traffic cam footage of the roads out of Tampa Bay just stacked while the way in almost empty. We're seeing huge rows of cars lining up to buy sandbags. We've got the Tampa mayor just absolutely not mincing her words.
And I can say without any dramatization whatsoever, if you choose to stay in one of those evacuation areas, you're going to die.
Wow.
And when you have meteorologists being brought to tears, you know it is time to pack up and get out.
It's an incredible, incredible, incredible hurricane. It has dropped 50 millibars in 10 hours. I apologize. This is just horrific.
And now Hurricane Milton has become the 5th most intense Atlantic hurricane on record, with winds of 180 miles per hour. Stay safe, guys, and I'll keep you updated.
This guy was on his way back home when he started to record a discussion in the plane. He later reviewed the footage and noticed something strange in the background. Look at this. He also realized what he was next to was extremely strange. Everything seems quite normal. Look at this. Wait. My God. Do you see the strange part, my friends? When I look at this replay in slow-mo. Well, this is quite bizarre. What is even strange here? Ah! Something on the seat next to him there, or what's up? Or something on the shelf. It's like there is a face. Oh my God. What could that be?
To make his generator work, John Searle had to overcome many problems. Most of these occurred with the shape and design of his magnets and in the behavior of their magnetic fields. How can you make a round magnet orbit another round magnet without stopping or flying off? He studied the behavior of a bar magnet and a round magnet.
There's something wrong with it. It's got a turning action on it. It was tormenting me. That must be able to go straight. I placed it on and it kept straight. And not only did it keep straight, it freely moved up and down. What happens if you make a ring?
He knew magnetic fields could be impressed or printed on certain materials using a magnetizer, a device common to shops and factories that use magnets.
The question about the scientists is why, when 3 was on, they just run round and round. The picture here was there was 2 states involved here, and of course there is.
The 2 states referred to the 2 magnetic fields printed at right angles to each other. Both the roller and the plate had independent magnetic fields, one vertical and the other radial from the center to the rim.
Clearly, the magnetic field was completely different to the magnetic fields we knew of. For some reason, why they were different, at the time I had no idea.
The intersection of these 2 fields produces a wave that carries the roller around the ring, although this wave was unknown at the time the phenomenon was present.
So we got fields at right angles. That's why the whole thing moves. If you haven't got 2 fields, it won't move.
Now the 2 key issues for the production of electricity were present in a totally new generator design. The electrons were available in the rare earth material. The magnetic fields induced the roller to run on the plate.
We didn't even know what the field looked like till a few years ago in Germany when we remade a segment. I said, well, let's have a look at this field. And we dusted it with very fine iron dust. Shook off the surface. Do you know what that looked like? A bicycle whip. That is the field that makes this work. Any other field won't work. That field does it. So we know that the magnetic field can be set to perform functions quite different to what we were taught in my day at school. And I think we're only scratching the surface of magnetism.
Was this thing a generator? It created an extremely high voltage, but John Searle had no control over it whatsoever. With each experiment came a new set of questions.
My magnetism is not your magnetism.
Could it be that general magnetism contains multiple bands, a magnetic spectrum, exactly the same as white light contains a spectrum of colors?
Magnetism is identical to light. In a way, that's how I look at it. They're identical, they're pairs.
John Searle used a combination of AC and DC current when magnetizing the components of his generator.
If we isolate the particular band we want and then print that, we have something different, we have a wave.
This is the Searle effect, the intersection of 2 magnetic fields creating a magnetic wave that can be measured and amplified. John Searle designed a generator using magnetic fields to induce a flow of electrons from a rare earth element through a system of rotating magnetized components so that those electrons would be collected, compressed, used, and recycled. Magnetic forces and electrons in motion, the 2 key issues necessary for the production of electricity.
If a condition where you can get a wave in a magnetic sense, like a wave, a sine wave, and they act as a river. Now they're stationary until reaction effects takes place. And to do that, you have to sit a cylinder on it, magnetize, and then that wave goes into motion. Now the roller placed on that field, it floats. We know it cannot touch that, it's too dense with energy, so it'll float. So we got something floating there. Then if this wave is moved due to reaction between this plate, this roller and this plate, then that wave is going to carry that regardless. So the roller maintains still its constant height. Though it's now running many times faster, it does not fly off.
The magnetic field is holding the roller tightly to the plate. At the same time, the electrons moving through the layered elements are collected and compressed on the surface of the plate, lifting the roller and creating space between the roller and the plate.
So the roller flies round and doesn't roll round. As it moves, the field is being rewritten all the time. So the field never diminishes. It cannot diminish because a magnetic field is in constant running order.
The energy or electrons moving through the system recycle. The rare earth element attracts new electrons that also move through the system and recycle. Because of their negative charge, the electrons compress, causing the drop in temperature and creating the energy field that radiates from the generator.
In 1956, I was soldering. I had produced another unit, and this time we wasn't powering it up. I wanted to try to meter up things to see what the oscilloscope was showing me. And it was accidental that when I took the hot iron to solder the wire on, I couldn't solder it. Something from the machine was cooling things faster than you could heat them. That was accounting for some of the behavior of those early models. Counted for why, when I got hold of it, I was stuck to it.
John Searle created a generator design that became a superconductor, producing extreme cold and incredibly high voltage that caused it to lift off the ground. But could he control this flying disc generator?
One thing I didn't know.
Look at this. Is that someone from the water or what's up? What is that thing? My God. Oh, what? What? Hey, where? My God, what is this thing? Is this a fish? English people, is this a real fish? No, this one I think is this one is a robot. Yeah, this one is definitely a robot. How can this be a fish? That is a fish. Oh my God, strange things in this world. And in other places, some of these places look extremely beautiful. Look at this one. Oh, look at the reflection. No, it's a mountain. I thought it's even the reflection is some water. How is this guy walking here on this edge first to begin with? Oh my God, it's crazy. Or is not a person walking, is another thing recording. Because this is extremely...
When people say bone on bone, the assumption is that all the cartilage on the end of this bone is gone. But in reality, if you can bend your knee, what's probably happened is you have a dot about that big, but you still have all this other cartilage. And on the x-ray, they'll show how the bones are touching, and that's where the doctor will say, look, the bones are touching, that's not normal. You should have space where there's cartilage. Therefore, your knee joint is bone on bone, and you have bone on bone arthritis. What they're not telling you, because they don't know, it's not their training, it's not their fault, they just didn't go to school for this stuff. I did. That's why you're here. Your quad muscles are pulling because you have those weak glutes, especially if you're in your 70s. For some people, even in their 60s, you lose your butt muscles. And so your quads are just yanking everything up and smashing that poor spot. But if you can unsmash it, if you can get the glutes to work right and get those quads to relax, that'll take pressure off the joint and allow you to disperse, to distribute the pressure more evenly throughout the knee joint.
Look at this. What are these? Are these some teeth of an animal or what are they? What? This animal restored their teeth for some experiment here. What's going on? What is being made, good people of Earth? Is it a mask or something like that? Or is humans doing some artistic stuff? Yo, hold on, my friend. We shall see the end product. It's done by a human. It will be definitely good web stuff. Let's see. This one looks like a master of what he's doing. Yo, it's a book cover. Man, it looks gorgeous. But now I'm having a question. Are those real teeth? I wish they are not real, because now there could be a toothless animal somewhere out
Don't
there.
drink cold water. If you drink cold water every day, you don't even know how you died. First of all, drinking cold water slows down the digestion process. Cold water slows down digestion and causes fat in the diet to solidify, which makes it harder for the digestive system to break it down. In addition, if you drink cold water immediately after exercise, you may experience a heat shock. After exercise, the body is already overheating, and cold water contradicts this condition. This can lead to hormonal imbalances because body temperature is regulated by hormones. Drinking cold water may cause hormonal imbalances, which can lead to emotional or digestive problems. Second, you may be at risk for throat infections, and drinking cold water creates mucus in the airways, which makes the respiratory system more susceptible to sore throats and infections. In addition, drinking cold water will absorb less nutrients because cold water constricts blood vessels, which reduces nutrient absorption in the digestive system. Please subscribe. Thank you very much.
Day 47 of asking until a credentialed physicist responds. If particles exist only as raw potential, as wave functions, until they have a definitive interaction with an observer, another particle, or a wave, then who collapsed the first one? How am I here right now?
I guess I'm gonna re-record this, but has anyone else experienced where you're watching something, you start watching a video or whatever, and then you realize you already watched it, and you're like, oh, I already seen this, and then you look at the time and it just came out, but you watched that video a year ago, but it literally says that the video was just posted a month ago.
Hey, which birds are these? Hey, this was they decided to come and visit the streets today. These one are the town birds. Which birds are these? What's up? Yeah, this
creator made a great video. He wants to know why somebody went from this to this, and what's up with the pearl necklaces. Oh, I can tell you exactly what it is. There is witchcraft, voodoo, that involve pearl necklaces. It could be a possibility of why. This kid has one. This guy has a whole outfit of pearls. Let's not forget him. Usher has one. Justin. Pearls, pearl necklaces, is always incorporated in lunar magic. Since the moon is influenced by the oceans, pearls come from the oceans, from bodies of water. It is all connected. It also has to do with men creating a translucent liquid necklace or something of the sort. I can't say more explicitly what it is. Use your imagination. As a ritual. It symbolizes this white translucent liquid. So if they're wearing that necklace, that means that they did that ritual. If we're talking about voodoo witchcraft, of course. The white pearl symbolized the ritual of the new beginning. It is a great tool used in moon magic and moon lunar rituals. On a pleasant note, it promotes the divine feminine, purity, protection, and emotional healing. Dark voodoo magic spell, the lunar spells, that usually when we see something like this, that a lot of celebrities are doing the same thing, it's always part of a common ritual that they participated in. It's like saying, I went up a peg in the club. Or they have been illuminated with knowledge. But before they can be illuminated, there is a lot of weird hazing. Why do I know? Because I know the magic. I know the rituals. I know the spells. I know the families. I know how it works.
Okay, attractiveness and scent. So we've published quite a bit on this. And a lot depends on your individual chemistry and the person who's picking up the scent's individual attractiveness to certain chemicals that you release. So these things are called pheromones. Pheromones are chemical messengers that we release that are picked up by other beings within the same species, and it can elicit a physiological or behavioral response in the other person. So for instance, let's say someone walks by you and you think that he or she is incredibly attractive, but they don't look physically that attractive, but something about them, just like you're so drawn to them. It could be that they have a pheromone that you are particularly attracted to, but your girlfriend sees that same person and does nothing for her. It might be that she's not attracted to them because their pheromones are not a match. So pheromones are based on genetics, and it's individual to each one of us. So what you're attracted to and what someone else is attracted to can be completely different. But pheromones can be incredibly effective. Women, when they're ovulating, may release more pheromones or be more sensitive to male pheromones. If women are on oral contraceptives, or they're wearing heavy perfumes, may block their pheromones. So yes, we pick up and we enjoy smells of others that are a perfect genetic match. Our nose can actually sense a good genetic match for us. So the more you know.
They're not hiding from us anymore.
What the fuck? Y'all see that?
Yes. I mean, you should have seen it earlier.
What is that? This is real life. No editing. This is real life. What is that? What? Whoa.
So lots of people have been asking, can we clone the saber kitty? No, we can't. Saber kitty is more than 35,000 years old, so even though the hair and the skin are very well preserved, the actual cells are long dead. So we couldn't just take a cell and put it inside of a surrogate parent because there are no living cells to do that with. We also couldn't just take the whole genetic code and insert it into another cell because the DNA is extremely old and degraded and incomplete. These are the same reasons why we can't clone really any extinct animal. Now, I'm sure you've heard that there are people out there in the world promising to resurrect woolly mammoths. Their plan for doing that is to take snippets of DNA that have been recovered from ancient mammoths and splice them into elephant embryos in the hopes that it will then grow up into an adult that is something like a mammoth. This is also not a promising avenue for our saber kitty. Mammoths and elephants are extremely closely related. Their DNA is very, very similar. They split from their common ancestors only like 5 or 6 million years ago. Saber-toothed cats are not closely related to any living species. They split from modern cat lineages more like 20 million years ago. So we would have a really hard time trying to rebuild the entire saber-toothed cat genome using the foundation of any living species. And even if we could clone Saber Kitty, we might run into some real problems trying to keep it happy and healthy. Saber Kitty is extremely well adapted for an ecosystem and an environment that have been gone for more than 30,000 years. So we might have a real hard time trying to provide it with the resources that it needs. And on top of that, the original Saber Kitty had something that our Saber clone would not have: a family. We don't know how social saber-toothed cats were, but all modern cats are raised by one or more parents who provide for them and protect them and teach them how to be a cat. We don't know how to be a saber-toothed cat, and neither does any other living species. So the idea of trying to clone our saber kitty runs into not only the scientific question of how do we do it, but also the ethical question of what we do with our lonely little saber cat once we have it.
I don't know what to do. Oh my god. What happens now? Oh, look, he's like, I'm gonna back up. You go, oh shit! Oh wait, hold on, little dude. Is it gonna say thank you? I'll be so excited. Here, watch this. Oh my god, this thing's fucking heavy.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Fucking said thank you. Holy shit. Oh my god, is this way I do it? Yeah. Oh my god. Huh. Watch this. Here we go. Up your ass, buddy. Here you go. Oh, you ungrateful prick. You didn't say anything to me. Alright, let's go, little buddy. Guys, look at it coming down this jacked up sidewalk. Oh my god, it's so funny. It doesn't know what to do. Oh, careful. If you got something in there that's gonna spill. Oh, holy shit. It's off-roading. Oh my god, here comes the other one. Oh my god. Come on, little buddy. Choo-choo. Oh my god. Oh, whatever you guys ordered, it's destroyed. Oh yeah, here we go. They're rocking.
What the hell? What is that, Mom?
What?
Ma, you see this?
No. Holy shit.
What
the hell is that?
So, you've seen it. Trees that look like they're just getting up and walking. Is it an Ent from Lord of the Rings? Or maybe that tree just needed some new scenery? Let's break down what's really going on here. Some viewers think it's just a logging machine pulling the tree. No need to panic. And they're right. Many of these videos do show trees being dragged by equipment that's hidden from view. But here's a fun fact. There are trees like the walking palm that move by shifting their roots to get better sunlight or nutrients. They're not walking quickly, but over time they can actually shift positions. So while your neighborhood tree won't be wandering off, some plants do move, just in slow motion. Why do videos of walking trees fascinate us? Maybe it's that mix of mystery and magic. Like one commenter joked, My grandpa warned me about walking trees, and I thought he was kidding. Or maybe it's that natural curiosity about things we thought were rooted in place. Whether it's machinery, real plant movement, or just our imagination running wild, these clips remind us how much mystery there still is in the natural world.
I want to know what is up with the Appalachian Mountains and the Appalachian Trail, because I have seen so many TikToks about like these rules that you have to follow if you're in the mountains or the woods in that area. Like, this picture behind me is a picture that a hiker took in like 2006, just like of a bunch of weird rock formations that were put together. And like, sure, a person could have done that, but it's still eerie to see that when you're hiking by yourself in the middle of the woods at night. These are some of those rules that you have to follow that the locals hound into your brain. And I've seen so many people who go on TikTok who live in the area who talk about like, it's not a game, like it's not like to scare you, like genuinely this is what's going to keep you safe, because there's things in the woods that you don't want to interact with. I need to know stories. Like, I want to hear people's stories of like what they've seen or experienced in these woods.
So we have a UFO base in the Bermuda Triangle. TikTok, that's for entertainment purposes only. We are just schmoozing and sharing a cup of tea. Please leave us alone. Do think about our thoughts and ponder on things. That is all we're doing. We're just thinking, pondering, and having fun. It's Saturday. Leave us alone. So I was just watching this documentary, and it actually makes a lot of sense now, because now we're finding out that the UFOs are coming in and out of the ocean constantly. It's talking about the Bermuda Triangle, and all these people continue to have these sightings, like fishing boats and stuff, where they see some random, you know, it looks like it's not a life form. It's some sort of light or lights coming from underneath the water and like circling the boat. And some boats have supposedly been taken down. They interviewed a bunch of these people and they have pictures that they took.
And start circling the boat.
There are actually hundreds of documented cases of encounters in the Bermuda Triangle.
We've had tons of people missing. We've got boats missing, planes missing. This is a very eerie place.
There's definitely something supernatural going on in the Bermuda Triangle. We need to figure out why people are disappearing.
And then you go back, and Christopher Columbus even documented in his diary when he was sailing over to the Americas that he was in the Bermuda Triangle and they kept seeing weird lights in the water. So that makes it even more interesting because, you know, back then we didn't have like any submarines or any kind of like, we didn't have the military under the water. It wasn't us, you know, like they were in a wood boat.
Christopher Columbus. We did not have this military technology back in those days, and there are other reports from many other ships through the years when we clearly did not have that type of technology at the time. So I have a tendency to think that the root source of these encounters has got to be something alien. Oh, well. The question is, what's the purpose of it all?
But it would make a lot of sense, you know, like there's all these shipwrecks and all this weird stuff that happens in the Bermuda Triangle. What if there's a giant UFO base under there? And that's why things keep going missing. Like they just go in the wrong area and they like take out the ship or they take out the airplane or people are getting abducted.
There are people that think that there are alien bases operating in the Bermuda Triangle. The other possibility is that the lost continent of Atlantis, the ancient civilization, is actually somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle, and in fact that these USOs are like automated defense forces, defense devices that still exist that are just making sure you're not there to cause any trouble.
They actually dove down. In part of the documentary, they dove down in the spot where one of the people saw one of the lights circling around, and right where the spot was, it was like all shallow water, and then there was this perfect square cut into the rock on the bottom. It was like this massive square. So they think the USOs or the UFOs are like hiding down there.
Into is something that looks like this. It's 45 wide, 45 long, and then 30 foot deep, all the way down to the bottom.
Wow.
Does that make any sense to you?
Not just a random square like that. That shape is pretty distinctive. How far away is it from any landmass?
In the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around it.
It's very odd.
This is a scientist, someone that studies this stuff, does this stuff on a daily, weekly basis, and she could come up and answer for us.
Huge deal, finding these two shafts that are very similar. It's a pattern, and it's spooky.
but this is not natural.
I've never seen anything in nature like it.
And of course, this leads up to the next question. Who has the ability to build something like this, and what's it for?
Well, that's probably outside of my area of expertise, but when you come up with two objects that are shaped like this in the middle of nowhere with the same dimensions, with no reasonable explanation, it certainly begs the question of what is going on here.
This is very interesting. So possibly we might have a UFO base in the Bermuda Triangle. Solves a lot of mysteries. Okay, love you, bye.